Yo, what's up? Oh my goodness, I am loud. This is a loud mic. How about that? Okay, maybe? Somewhere in the middle. Yeah, okay. Not quite clipping? I don't know anymore. Okay, what? Face cam. Whoa, there I am. Anxiety, let's go. I'm a bit early. I figure if I show my face, more people will appear, and I might be less lonely in the void. This is a bit early because I forgot that we have it today, and I plan to go to the plant store. And Ficus can't wait for nobody. So today we're doing the critique stream, the long form one, the last critique stream of the month. Until it's October, I'm just amped because my birthday's coming up on the 5th, so I don't really... Yeah. Been thinking about doing YouTube again. I have to talk to my ADHD coach about this. I'm excited to get more ficus. I like some ficus. I've been working on a lot of writing projects again, which has been good. How many people are we reviewing today? I think it's 4. I think there's 4 of them. I don't think many of them know that the stream is today because it was a bit of a weird one. Yeah, because I'll be reviewing AZ and then Nat, and then I think Ursula will review Nat and a few more. Oh, there's Ursula. It's so quiet. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Whoa. I guess this is the... Whoa. I guess this is the 3rd critique stream of the month because the last one got broken in half. Because our internet died midway through. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. Not to jinx it or anything. I've totally jinxed it. Oh no. Stares off into the distance. It's weird because I feel like we're gonna be critiquing people who aren't here, and that's always weird. I want to start with Nat, but I can't because Nat leads into Ursula. So once again, I think we're starting with AZ. AZ just gets the top billing. We need more writing critiques. Oh my god, why am I so tired? I slept, I swear to god. I swear to the Lord that I have slept. It's 10 p.m. here, and I'm just starting to work until 7 a.m., but I will earphone in, but can't tape. Don't tell my boss. Okay, I won't tell. I think it'd be physically impossible for me to do so, but if it were possible, I wouldn't do it because I respect you just that much. Yeah, it really is just the one, isn't it? Okay, good, because I only read the 2 of them. Alright, so I read AZ's story submission for the critique stream, which is what we are doing right now. Their patron, that's how they submitted. I know you guys are always confused in the comments, and I never respond to you because I'm an absent dad. And right, so this is the long form. Let's go. EZ, your story seems to be coming to its finale, which is exciting. I could tell that this was kind of rough. Hi, Kairos. I can tell that it was kind of a rough-ish draft. I think it had like the same issues like I've talked about before with like pacing. I think it had some really big pacing troubles for me to like follow, I think. I think specifically, and I'm not including the scene that was just like added at the end, that it obviously doesn't go there, but like the last 2 scenes before that, like the transition between them felt very abrupt. The extra scene that you did right, I think it was very good, like a dialogue exchange. I think it was nice to see more characters in the world fleshed out. Like, that's cool. I feel like it really depends on like what you're doing with that character that matters. But I also think it was like an interesting like additional perspective on Gil and like a different side of him, which was kind of cool. But I feel like all of that it just needs like the context of the rest of the story for you to even decide whether or not to include that or not. I felt like that was a lot stronger on a line to line kind of writing wise than like the other chapters. What are they called? Scenes. The other scenes in this. I specifically found the scene the scene. Oh, hi. I didn't realize it was. Oh, I'm sorry. Right. I'm talking about your story. I'm sorry. I didn't wait. I was the story behind me being quick is because I really want to get some ficus. I really require some ficus, so I have to get it before it closes because the store is closed tomorrow. Otherwise, I would go. Well, it might not actually be closed, but a lot of things will be closed tomorrow because it's the day of reconciliation and truth in Canada. Right. So, as I was saying, I don't know how much you heard, um, but yeah, I specifically found the scene with Gil and Des when they are laying in the bed together. I felt like the pacing like internally for that scene felt very quick, and like I wish it had more room to breathe. Like the last scene, the additional scene that you added, I felt like that had a lot more to it. I'm not sure like what you would add exactly, but I feel like it like all the events just came very quickly. The scene preceding it, with Rory and Gil, um, was less so on the fastness. I found that it very much quickened pace near the end of it. And it just feels like it needs to be like fleshed out. Yeah, I struggled with that one a bit. Something felt missing. Yeah, something feels missing. I feel like it needs a lot more breathing room or something. Um I didn't have as much time as I normally do. Yeah, that's part of it too. Like it just feels like an earlier kind of rougher draft of things than that sometimes happens, which is fine. Um I guess I guess what it would be is that like thoughts and subjects within that scene weren't lingered on quite long enough. And like I understand kind of the fact that Des is like dismissing the gun or whatever, but it was very much like a plot point that was very immediately dropped without any like yeah, it was the opening picture of the scene, but also it didn't really play any role within the interaction. I don't think it needs to be the focus. Yeah. And I think there was like a similar like Bones, it would help if you had it opened in front of you. Yeah, because there was that, and then the confessions scene that happens next feels very abrupt and sudden. Though that might be that like it was like a fade to black that you might actually be including, but in which case like that might be fine. And it was very much just summarized, so I know like there's more to it than is written. And like I wasn't sure about the confession. It felt like it might have worked, so I was trying it out. I feel like maybe the confession, like if you combine the scenes, like actually just seamlessly work them together, it might work, because then you start with the gun and then it ends with something else. Because like I don't usually say that double duty scenes are good, because a lot of the times they're not, but I think as you reach the end of a story, like I think you get away with, and you kind of need to bring things together more and have scenes that have more multi-purpose, I guess. Because a lot of it is like everything like coming together and overlaying. I wanted it to flow. That was my intention. Yeah. Yeah, I think they can flow together. Like I think they do match. They just don't quite like on like a more technical level, which I think can be ironed out. But I wouldn't necessarily separate them too. Yeah. As I write the end of the final chapters, I'm having to work on pacing a lot. Yeah, yeah. No, that's definitely a thing. I find like yeah, I find you have to combine scenes in quicker paced kind of ways. I think my suggestions like in general tend to lean towards like beginnings of stories. Because like in the beginning of stories, like if you're combining all this stuff, like the reader can't keep up. But by this point there's a lot of information we have, so it can be easier to do a little more multi-purpose and good because it can be very heavy hitting, right? When you pair things in the right way in either like contrasts and parallels. Yeah, it's like a weird balance of like not wanting to like rush and also wanting to pick up pace. Yeah. I think maybe what it is you're picking up pace in the plot and scenes, and the amount and the density of information, but you might not necessarily be shortening your scenes or going less exploratory into them. Yeah, climaxes are hard. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of how that works exactly. Because it's kind of like I feel like kind of what it is when you reach the ending, it kind of inverts a little bit, where if you wanted to add some like quick information, you would do it in a much shorter scene than you would at the beginning. Like if you wanted to introduce like a very small thing that's needed for the end to work, like let's say I don't know, like I can only think of like guns, because usually like that's the thing. Like you might need a gun to get placed at a table at some point, and I think by the end of the novel you're allowed to just have a scene that's like 2 pages or 1 page where you position objects, and that's the entire scene, where that doesn't work as well in the beginning where you want to be expanding more. Whereas at the end you can like have a long dense scene with a lot of topics coming together, and that's fine and good as long as it's like impactful. Maybe that's the issue that everyone has, is that they always are trying to write their endings at their beginnings. But at the end of the day, like I think as long as you're making like these scenes, it'll be easier once you look back at it to like combine them and find those parallels. Yeah, and once you have them, and it's easier to move them around and see what's needed. And because like you're shifting a lot around, like just in general, like we've been talking about, like there's things you want to add at the beginning, like that will drastically change how your ending plays out and what ending you're gonna play out. So like I don't imagine like the draft that you have now is gonna have a super satisfying ending at the moment. And I don't think that will say anything about like your writing or anything like that. I think it's just if we haven't fully solidified the beginning of a story, like there's no way for it to end nice and solidly. But once you have your solid base at the beginning, you'll be able to prune things out perfectly and it'll be all good. It'll be a heckin' bop. But yeah, those things have to be decided on, so yeah. I think that's all I have to say on the matter. Once the first draft is written, it'll be easier to figure out how to make it work. Exactly. Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. Yeah. Just make sure to take a step back from it all for a while once you're done. I say as someone who forgets to do that. Thanks. Back to listen to the beginning now. Okay. See you on the other side. Right. The next one I read was Nat, and Nat is not here, so I am dangerous. I'm untethered. Ursula's shouting. Wait, we can't hear her. Where the frick is it? Where is it? Where are you? Show yourself. Frick, what? What? Uh, there we go. Found it. What did I read? Chapter 5. I love how you just cross out the numbers on the thing. That makes me so happy. I love that little deer. So cute. Hmm. I like the mounting tension of it all. I think that's that it's strong. I think the conflicts make sense. They flow into each other nicely. Like considering what happened in the previous chapters. Like I like seeing kind of like the fallout from it. And things getting worse for the characters. I feel like the announcers are like such a good idea to info dump. It's like a classic thing to do, but I always like it. Ugh, I'm so... Like, I like the different interactions they had with the interviewers. I like the character of it all. No, like I think they're all just good story beats. I'm struggling to find something. The only critiques I'd have would be like the same from the last time, and by that I just mean like the setup earlier. But like even disregarding that, like if this just thinking about this as a natural flow between like the two chapters, like I don't have an issue. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. I think they flow nicely into each other, and there's not like additional information that was needed. If that makes sense, he says repeatedly. I'm gonna let Ursula do this. She always has more to say.
Hello. Oh, thank you. I have a fidget spinner. Okay. Hi. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let me get stuff open, and then I will continue Nat's critique. Just getting Kairos stuff open. Here we go. Okay. There we go. Beautiful. All right, Nat. So yeah. Ba, ba, ba. Ba, ba, ba. Hi, little sketch. Sorry, lit sketch. And hello, roses. All right, Nat. Yeah. So, as usual, very solid chapter that you have here. I found the. Why is the camera weird? I don't know, guys. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, really solid chapter. I found that your paneling, as always, is fantastic. The pacing is really great. Lots of great use with your panels to show emotion. Yeah, lots of great stuff with. Like I was saying with pacing from the chapter overall, and then from just panel to panel, I really enjoyed like them getting set up on the little sofa bed. Yeah, and just them like I really love this scene where they're saying like good night and then smiling, and then it falls apart because everything's all awkward and weird right now, and it's so good. So yeah, really great pacing. Hello, Kyle. Yeah, great establishing shots. I really enjoyed the interview section where we're going to all the competitors. It was really funny, and well paced. I would have liked to see. I don't mind this initial like page where they're just flipping through the different contestants to interview. I think like this is like comedically really funny and like easy to follow. I would like to see when Alia, yeah, Alia and Orla are being interviewed. I would like to see an establishing shot, just because we do later see she's watching Alia like walk away, and it would just be nice to see just an establishing shot of where they are. Because I think like the scene is set up so that we understand that interviews are happening. I think you just need an establishing shot to show just more scenery of where they are in location to each other. You could use this panel behind them. So, because you have these two panels up front here, I think you could just really quickly kind of show in here, like Allie is standing over here, Orla's over here. I don't know. However you think the blocking will work, but just to show where they are in context with each other, just because you then look at it later, so then it's nice and set up, and yeah, I think it'll make it feel more cohesive. But really loved this stuff really well paced. I loved when the chaperone character, coach character, I don't know what you call her, but anyways, I like when she shows up and like takes them off to this like council meeting and it's all imposing. Yeah, there's just such good tension in this page in particular, like opening the doors, seeing all the people. It's framed just really, really well. Really great atmospherically. And I think some of these pages at the end could be like a little bit stronger tonally. Like everything's there. I think it just needs to be rearranged a little bit. So for example, when the grandmother is going over everything and talking about like the punishments and like, oh, we don't care like why this fight happened, you're gonna get expelled, or well, you should, but we're not going to. Like the expression is there. I just think like I want to see her be like really imposing, because this first panel here where you just see like her mouth and you can see like she's looking down her nose, like that's got the right energy. But I find here where it's like a mid shot, we're just seeing her from the front, it kind of loses that power. And I think it could be changed with just like posture, like maybe doing like a shot from below. Yeah, I think she just needs to be more imposing in this scene as she's like listing out these punishments. And then you can raise the intensity from there with these like close-ups of her getting more and more like scary looking as she's like dealing out the penalty. Yeah, I love this page here where they're discussing. And then I think on this last page, I think it needs to be either the balance of the page needs to be shifted, or maybe it needs to be broken up into two pages. I'm not sure. It just feels like it's missing some of the impact for this, because we get all this like information about like what's gonna happen to them, and like there's lots of tension, and then it all comes to a head like at this very end where she goes to protest, but then just goes along with it, and like it I don't know, it feels kind of like a gut punch, and I just want the paneling to like fit that a bit more. So I like the aspect of having her like looking away and having Orla look at her, and you can just feel like it's so conflicting for them, and like it's really well done. I like the pace of it. I think it's taking up quite a bit of space in comparison to, I don't know, I feel like you need this buildup of her like looking away and humming and hawing and trying to build up the courage to like protest, and then these last 3-4 panels, with this call out being 4, they need more space, I think, because like you could do something where you these panels up top could be a bit smaller, and they kind of build to this moment of her. I really like how she's like breaking out of the panel where she's like finally gonna speak up for herself. But anyways, it can be smaller and then lead up to this bigger moment, and then I really want the grandmother cutting in and saying like, is it understood? To like quash her, to like squish her, like just knock the air out of her. And then she has this moment of like, okay, I'm gonna go along with it, and has this like gut punch, like emotionless moment. Yeah, so I think it just needs more space to breathe for this last bit because it's so important. It's the character like almost kind of reaching a really important moment and then not reaching it, and that's just such like a great moment for your story, you know? Like it's just such a good like it's a, yeah, I really like how this scene ends, as I keep saying, but yeah, I think it just needs more space because it's so important. So now you're not here. You said you'd watch later, so please let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer if I didn't make something clear, or if you wanted feedback on something else. But yeah, awesome work as always. Yeah. Thank you for streaming. Glad your webcomic work is paying off. Your videos are motivational. Oh, thanks, Kyle. Thanks for joining us, and thank you for watching. Okay. So, now we're moving on to Kairos, who I believe is here. I believe Bones said you were here. Where are you, my friend? Ooh woo. Ooh woo, ah wah wah. Yes, hello. Hello. Okay. So, yeah, so, all right. If you have any specific stuff you want feedback on, I can do that. Yeah, let me know if you have any like specific things you had questions on with the new pages, or I don't know, with the old pages as well. Let me know, but I will kick it off. So yeah, so I really liked the the scene as it continues. Really great action sequence. My favorite page in particular is this one. I love this panel where the hook shot thing like goes past him and he's like, "Oh my god." I thought that was just fun. It's really fun action that you've got here. There's a good sense of like momentum with the attacks, and a good sense of like weight and action with the characters and the monster. Yeah, really fun and pretty easy to follow. So yeah, so I think you've done a very good job with it. Yeah, I love the momentum here of the new guy running in and like shoving the thing so it misses. Like, it was just good stuff. Good momentum, like I was saying. I think the lighting work you're doing is really great. Other than what's in the info doc, basically, is there anything you think is missing that should have been communicated? Other than their names, which they'll be introducing in the next batch. Okay. Okay. Right. Oh, right. I was saying I really liked what you did with the lighting here. It's like a great continuation from what you had previously, like leading up to it. But I think there's just a really good light source here that really frames everything. I like how you're using like the light streaming in from outside of this like big column they're standing on. Like really frames everything. It leads some like you use the lighting to kind of lead the eye around. I like how it silhouettes the monster. I love the line work for the shadow as well. Like that's really cool. It adds so much cool depth and texture to it. And the characters stand out really well against the backgrounds as well. I remember you saying that you were worried about that in the info doc. But yeah, it looks really good. I try my best, especially with the environment, which I had to draw for like 15 pages. You did really well. It's very like consistent. Like it's a very this feels so like obvious, but it feels like a very three-dimensional space, and like you've got your blocking down, like your characters aren't like shifting around in a way that's hard to follow. The lighting's really great, like I was saying. The environment's just very consistent. Yeah, it's good stuff. Um, um, the and even when there isn't color, because like I know you're gonna go through and color these later pages, but even when there isn't color, it's still easy to follow, and I think that's because your line work is there, your composition is there. Yeah, super solid. Um, there was one thing page wise where I found it a little confusing. I had to read it back a couple times to kind of figure out. It's this page in particular where I was it took me a minute to kind of figure out the purpose of it. So, because what you have is he sees the monster, it shoots at him, he's like trying to hide and like get away. He scoots around the column and then tries to run towards the elevator. And I think I was just confused by why he stopped. Because it like in the next page, the second character comes in and saves him. So like clearly the hook shot was about to shoot. But I think there's just some kind of context here missing as to why he freezes. Like I was thinking like why didn't he just like dive into the elevator because it's open, right? So I think I'm not sure if it's framing, if there's like a panel missing. It might be like you need a close up of the like signifying the like the hook shot is like just about to shoot, if that makes sense. Like cuz you have the click 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 which is like consistent with it winding up. Right, but yeah, because you have the thing of him, he hears the click, 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 he looks, and then he freezes. I think you just need like a close up in here somewhere of just like of the hook. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like it could just be a close up of the monster's face or him seeing like the point of the hook or like something like you see like a latch or the I'm not sure. But it just needs something because it just feels like it's a little missing the context here a little bit, just a little bit. But yeah, but after that, like the action is super easy to follow. Like I said, I really liked as well the action with. I really liked later on where you have this kind of parallel of like what the monster is doing and what the characters are doing. Like I like how it's like split down the middle. I think that's great. And I also really liked the pacing of the hook being reeled in by the elevator moving up. I think that was also like really visually represented visually really well. I figured he freezes up because he realizes it's about to shoot, but he's not close enough to the elevator to make it in time. Plus the later pages where he has to ready the elevator beforehand. I had fun with those flip pages. They're really good. It's really nice. Like it feels like really quick cuts in like a movie. Like it's nice. Yeah. Yeah, but as for the page I was talking about, yeah, it needs like oh my god, sorry. Our dog Serena. I just realized she got a hold of a piece of cardboard and is currently ripping it up. You monster. I don't even know where she got it. But anyways. Yeah, in that case if he knows it's about to hit, he freezes, maybe you need a shot showing like how far away he is from the elevator because you're right, you do get the context later of like how much preparation the elevator needs, but I think there just needs to be like a split second of him like considering or showing like why he can't just keep running, that kind of thing. Yeah. I think it could be fixed with just like an extra panel put in somewhere. Is there anything missing that could have been communicated by now? I don't think so off the top of my head, because we have all the context to like, it's unusual for him to be here, but he snuck in. He's shocked by the monster. So there's good information there. Like just setting up your world and like expectations and stuff. I think you've done a good job with like laying down like, here's the norm of the world, and now we're running into something that's like abnormal for the main character. And then you've set up intrigue with this new character who's shown up. Like, to me, he looks like he's wearing like hospital like clothing. So I'm like, is this like an experimental base thing that he snuck into and this guy's escaped? I don't know, but you know, you've got a lot of intrigue going. Like, why does he have one of his sleeves ripped off? Like, why isn't he speaking with the characters? Like, they don't speak the same language. Is he mute? Is he scared? Like, I think you've set up some good intrigue where like you know, these things don't have to be answered now, because you're setting up like mysteries for the reader to discover. Yeah, I don't think anything's missing. If I, here, I'll quickly look at the doc to make sure I didn't scoot over anything. Let me just open it in private so that I'm not spoiling your whole comic. Okay, I think that's it for my feedback, unless you have any further questions. Got it. On point. This is good. Yeah. I think you're representing your things really well visually. The way I want to communicate lore and stuff is a little bit at a time, so it doesn't feel like too much all at once. See, that's a really great strategy, because that, it's a balance you have to walk, where you want to like set up the world and the lore and the mystery, like the concrete things that like your reader needs to know to understand the story at the beginning. So like I think your opening narration like suits that purpose. It's like, here's what the world is, I'm setting you up for what you need to be prepared for, and then doling out everything else slowly is a really great way to like have your reader ask questions and want to continue reading more to like find those answers. And it helps them kind of absorb things. So yeah, you're right, they're not getting overwhelmed. I know dialogue heavy pages can be a slog to read, so I keep it light, but that does mean some info can slip up across separate scenes. Yeah, I find Bones could probably say more about this, but he talks about how like you need to repeat yourself a lot in comics, and I think in stories in general. But he talks about it with like characters' names. It helps a lot to say the characters' names maybe more than would be natural in say like a novel. Because if you're writing prose, you can have the character's name in like paragraphs and not in dialogue. But with comics, because the only words you're seeing are the dialogue, it helps to like repeat characters' names, for example. So you may have to repeat information as you go, especially important information. Yeah, exactly. Hello, Clydesdale. I'm interested in getting my webcomic looked at. Where do I submit? So we do have a Patreon where you can sign up to get your stuff critiqued. So we don't have any more slots this month, but you can sign up and get your stuff looked at next month. But yeah, there should be a link in the Patreon, a link in the description down below for the Patreon. And we also have a Discord. So if you just want like our other Discord members to look at your work, like that's totally available. But the Patreon does open like private chats with other patrons and me and Bones. So it's up to you what you want to do. Um, no, you're good, Clydesdale. I appreciate you asking because that means I get to plug our thing. So you're helping me out. The C looks like an E. Oh, I could see that. Yeah, this C in the crunch might look a bit like an E. Yeah. Oh, we got you through your first webcomic. Oh, that's awesome. Well, congrats on working on your webcomic. My goodness. Awesome. Kairos, do you have any other questions that I didn't cover? I love this panel. I thought this was so cute. Yeah. Yeah. Let me know. Questions? Concerns? Questions? Comments? That's all I can think of. No problem. Well, thank you so much for submitting, and thank you to Nat and AZ. The boom panel is gold for real. Love it. Well, thank you everyone for submitting. As you heard in my oh no, wait, wrong one. Oopsie, my bad. If you would yourself like to have your work critiqued, whether it's your comics, your writing, your thumbnails, sketches, character designs, setting designs, illustrations, whatever it is, you can sign up for our Patreon, or you can join our Discord and chat with our other lovely community members because they also have really great advice as well. Oh, hey, Cole Foxwell. It's been so long. How are you? My goodness. Hello. Oh, I was like, why is it so quiet? I think our music ended. Oops. Oopsie doopsie. Been busy working? Totally fair. I feel you. Same here. Can I get some hearts in the chat for our stepping stool in the background that is like perfectly framed, leaning against the wall? Like, what is that? How did we do that? We use it for watering our plants, which are all in hangers, because otherwise our cats eat them. Oh, all right. Well, that is it for this stream. We will be back another day. Oh, thanks, guys. Stepping stool, we love. Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Very short stream, but hopefully it was helpful. Yeah, so we'll be back another day, and we'll talk to you later. Mwah. Be good to yourself, okay? Everyone be good, and work on your work, and treat yourself nice, and we'll see you later. Mwah.